I make plant-based milks all the time, you guys, and in my opinion, they are the well-kept secret that the dairy industry doesn't want you to know about. Now, even though you see some of these familiar names in grocery stores, they are not freshly made. They have emulsifiers, stabilizers, preservatives, and additives that mask the natural flavor. So, we're going to make all these momentarily, but first, I want to congratulate the winner of the Blending with Henry Vitamix Health and Wellness Package giveaway. Please join me in saying congrats to Nick. Now, he was chosen from Facebook. He just got married to the beautiful lady next to him. They are absolutely thrilled with their new Vitamix Ascent A2300 Smart Prep bundle that includes the food processor attachment. And they also got the ISI Gourmet Cream Whipper. How fun is that, right? Before we get started, please support Blending with Henry by smashing that like button and leaving a comment. Your support for my work is highly appreciated. And now back to our project. Now these are so easy to make, so let's get started. Now for the nut milks, you're going to need to soak your almonds, cashews, and walnuts for 24 hours in the refrigerator. Just use enough water to cover them on the top. They don't need to be deep in water. For the oat milk, you do not soak the oats in water. They go in as a dry ingredient. Now it's important to use rolled oats only. Don't use instant or quick oats, and nor should you use steel-cut oats. You will need a nut milk bag. No particular brand, just one that filters out the textures of sediment. Now, this is 100% optional. I will be using my fruit press in conjunction with the nut milk bag to squeeze the milk from the pulp for a more clean hands operation. Just for the oat milk, it's best to use a fine mesh sieve to filter the milk. Then filter a second time with the nut milk bag. I will show you that in a bit. Alright, let's make the oat milk first. Now, as popular as nut milks have become, you guys, there are people who have nut allergies that cannot consume nut milks. Oat milk is vastly becoming popular for this reason, and you'd be surprised just how delicious it is. For all the milks in this video, there's a standard plant-based milk recipe which makes 40 ounces. So it's 1 cup of nuts or oats, 3 cups of filtered ice water, 1 cup of ice. Now, just to be clear, it's a total of 4 cups of water. I substituted one of the cups with ice to keep the milk cold during processing. You definitely want to use a powerful blender. If you have a Vitamix, that would be great. Now for the standard recipe, I'm using a 48-ounce container, but if you have the larger 64-ounce container, the same recipe works perfectly. Okay, so we have 1 cup of rolled oats. This is 3 cups of filtered ice water. Now to avoid the chance of a slimy texture, the water has to be very cold so the oats don't attempt to cook during blending. Continuing to make it cold, I'm adding 1 cup of ice for a total cup of 4 cups of water. Snapping my lid in place. And now we're going to quickly ramp it up to the highest speed and blend for no more than 30 seconds. The blend time should not exceed 30 seconds. A longer time will cause the oat milk to become slimy due to overblending. We're separating the milk from the fiber in 2 stages, starting with pouring the oat milk into a fine mesh sieve. Now making oat milk requires some TLC, you guys. This is easier and quicker than using the nut milk bag only because you'd have to squeeze it very lightly to prevent the fiber from coming through the bag and making the oat milk slimy. Now this happens because when the fiber is smashed too tightly, it turns into oatmeal and begins to pass through the nut milk bag. Now using a spoon, I'm gently swirling the mixture and not scraping the bottom of the sieve so the fiber moves around, allowing the milk to pass through the holes in the sieve. Now we've reached the point that it's just fiber left in the sieve. Now we're done here. Now attempting to push any of this through the sieve will cause the oat milk to be slimy. Now, are you still thirsty after hearing all this slime talk? It looks good, but there's still a bit of this brownish sediment on the top. Now we're going to filter that out in the second stage. Now I have the nut milk bag sitting in my fruit press canister connected to a hose that will pour out the oat milk. Now just pull on the drawstring and tie the nut milk bag closed. And from here, you guys can just hand squeeze the milk from the bag. The nut milk bag is hidden inside my fruit press, and I'm simply turning the handle at the top to squeeze the bag and separate the milk from the remaining sediment. And now the oat milk is complete and ready to drink. It will have a somewhat bland taste, so I'm going to show you guys a simple recipe idea to make it more enjoyable to drink. So we're going to pour in our finished oat milk. One-quarter teaspoon of kosher salt, a half a tablespoon of pure maple syrup, and a half a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Now this time we're just mixing in the flavors, so we're blending on low speeds between 1 and 2 for 15 seconds. And that is it. Now we have delicious smooth oat milk. Now I do recommend to chill it in the refrigerator for at least an hour. Walnut milk is one of the less popular plant-based milks. Now, you'll perhaps find it in specialty stores and upscale grocery stores, and it has a nice mild nutty flavor, and it's the same texture as dairy-based milk. Okay, so we're using the standard recipe of 1 cup of raw soaked walnuts, 3 cups of cold filtered water, and 1 cup of ice. So we're starting on variable speed 1 and we're quickly increasing to the highest speed and blend for 1 minute. We're pouring it into our nut milk bag. Now again, I'm using my fruit press, but you can hand squeeze it. Now I generally discard the leftover pulp unless I need it right away. It is usable for other recipes. It's ready to drink, but we're going to flavor it up a bit. I'm pouring the walnut milk into the Vitamix. 1/4 teaspoon of kosher salt, 1 tablespoon of pure maple syrup, and 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract. We're just going to mix it on low speed for about 15 seconds. Looks amazing, pours smoothly, just like dairy-based milk. You guys have got to try this. Almond milk is by far the most popular plant-based milk. It's found at just about every store. It's not always good. There are so many ingredients and stabilizers that just don't make sense. Let's make it. Starting with the standard recipe of 1 cup of raw soaked almonds, 3 cups of cold filtered water, and 1 cup of ice. Starting on variable speed 1, we're quickly increasing to the highest speed for 1 minute. Almond milk also needs to be filtered from the fiber, and it's ready to drink after filtering. Although this is optional, let's add a bit of flavor to take off the bland edge. 1/8 of a teaspoon of kosher salt, 1/2 tablespoon of pure maple syrup, and 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Once again, we're mixing on low speed just to incorporate the flavors. My recipe may appear to be the same, but the flavoring ingredients differ slightly for each milk to get the best taste. The pièce de résistance undoubtedly is my chocolate cashew milk. Now, if you're a chocoholic, you guys, you will not want to share this. It's really that good, and it's the easiest to make out of all the plant-based milks in this video. So, let's make this because why not, right? First, the standard recipe of 1 cup of raw soaked cashews, 3 cups of filtered water, and 1 cup of ice to keep it cold. Now we're starting on variable speed 1 and quickly increase to the highest, and we're blending for 90 seconds. Cashews need a longer blend time to create the milk. On the flip side, no straining required or separating from the fiber, so it's ready to drink now. But we're not done yet. Let's turn it into the best chocolate milk you ever had. So I'm going to remove the lid to add the ingredients. This is a mixture of 2 tablespoons of standard cocoa powder and 1 tablespoon of Dutch processed cocoa powder. 1/4 teaspoon of kosher salt, 1/4 teaspoon of instant coffee. It's completely optional, but it brings out the chocolate in chocolate. 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract, 3/4 of a cup of pure maple syrup, put the lid in place. Now we're starting on variable speed 1 and we're going to slowly and gradually increase to the highest speed. This is because we have ingredients on the top of the milk that need to be pulled down into the milk, then blended. And the blend time is for 1 minute. The most critical chocolate milk fanatic would never know this is simply cashews, water, cocoa powder, and maple syrup. No other chocolate milk will satisfy you once you try this, I assure you. It's creamy, rich, chocolatey, and just good. Let it refrigerate for at least an hour so it's good and cold. That's when it tastes the best. One last thing, it may be hard to tell in the video, but certain plant-based milks such as the oat and walnut will separate after several minutes. You can see the separation by the arrows. Now just as most everything else should be shaken well, shake these milks before drinking them. These plant-based milks are fun to make. There's nothing wrong with grabbing store-bought and still making these on occasion. Now the difference is these are 100% fresh, so they will last 3 to 5 days maximum in the refrigerator. There's no preservatives, so drink them up. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section. I'm pretty excited about these. And please support Blending with Henry with your Vitamix purchase by using my links below the video or on blendingwithhenry.com. See you soon.